Hey boys and girls, I'm going to go over your penmanship. This is the one that you did yesterday for Wednesday. And the back side is just extra practice. So parents, if you want your child to do the extra practice, then you can assign this to them. And boys and girls, you will say yes ma'am and yes sir if they tell you to do that, okay? And most importantly on the back side when you're doing it is to make sure to do the punctuation marks at the end. Don't forget, because a sentence has a couple of things that have to always be in a sentence. The first thing that has to be in a sentence is, raise your hand if you know, shout it out with me. That's right, a capital letter has to be at the beginning of a sentence, just like here. On these two sentences, there's a capital letter, okay? And then on the end of a sentence, every sentence has to have, raise your hand if you know, raise your hand, wave it in the air like this. That's right. Yeah, it has to have a punctuation mark. So a punctuation mark like a period, an exclamation mark, or a question mark, okay? And this page actually happens to have a question mark. Wait, sorry, wrong side. A question mark at the end. So really look at it before you write it, okay? And remember, I always have you do trace one word, write one word. Trace one word, write one word. That way we know that as you're writing your sentence down here, you're copying the sentence. So if when you do your own, like you trace the word the, and then you're writing the word the down here, if it is way over here when you're ending it, that means it's too big. You need to squeeze it in so it's the same size. That way your sentence does not all run together, because remember, all the dots, the red dots that you see throughout the bottom, the one where you're going to write on your own, those are your starting points. So you have to make sure that the word you wrote before is not squishing into the previous word, the word before. Okay, so next you're going to do page 173 in your penmanship, which is that's right, it's a test. Yay, we love tests. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is write your name. Name is important. Otherwise, you're doing all this work for nothing. And you don't want to do all the work for nothing. You want to get credit for the work you're doing, okay? So on this test, you're going to be tested on the letter G, the letter L. So you're going to trace the letter G and write 2 on your own. You're going to trace the letter L and write 2 on your own, okay? And then the last part, which, look at this test, it's tiny. So you have plenty of time to finish your test. And you have plenty of time to erase if you need to start over, okay? So you're going to do those 2 letters up there, and then down here you're going to trace the sentence and write it down here. And remember, you're going to trace one word, write one word. Trace one word, write one word. I do not want you to trace the whole thing and then write the whole thing, because that's a really quick way to start getting your words squished together. And I really want you to be able to keep your words separate. Okay? And don't forget that magical little period at the end that makes your sentence stop. Otherwise, you're going to keep going and run out of breath, and then you'll turn blue and fall on the ground. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, so that is all the seat work that you have for Thursday. And I hope you have a great evening. And please, boys and girls, remember, how we treat our parents is how we treat God. So if our parents are telling us to do our work, well, guess what? They're telling you to do your work because they love you, and I love you. And we just want the best for you guys. And we want you to keep learning and learning tons, because you guys are the smartest kids I know. So please work hard and do what your parents ask you to do, okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.